So they have, I think so, one fourth ownership of the property. So there's 4 properties on there, 4 houses on there, and they have one of the homes. So they're looking at selling. And the only thing is that you're gonna have to connect your own water. So it has its own electricity. It's connected to sewer, but if you want the water bills billed separately, you're gonna have to connect the water, which is like about 5-6 houses away. So if anyone wants, to look into that deal, I believe I can get the property for maybe 280, and then the ARV I'm looking around 500,000. So
nice. What do you think the estimated cost for running the sewer to that property would be?
that I don't know. It can cost maybe 60,000. It depends on how cheap you can get it.
Well, actually, we just put in like 300 feet of water line. So, how much did they break down the cost to trench for the water lines and Leila?
Sorry, I wasn't sure you were talking to me. We did use a different guy for the trenching of the water line. So the plumber was a bit steep to have that done by him. So we paid a laborer independently to do the trench. And I think that it was about 3,000.
For the trench? For the 300 feet? Oh, that's not bad.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's because we paid just the laborer, and then we rented the machinery. Well, the contractor did. He kind of put that together instead of paying the plumber.
Yeah, because we paid for the whole for the job, but do we know how much that cost us?
I think it was 10 total.
10,000? That's not too bad then.
Not just water line though, Leila?
Mm-hmm. 4.
Water line or water and sewer?
No, just water.
Yeah, so sewer is, at least in Washington, it's almost $1,000, $1,000 a foot is when we were looking at the Federal Way property. It was crazy. And
Right.
Yeah, the sewer is a little more spendy, a lot more spendy than a water line, but that's still a great deal. Dante, post that information on the side, because if somebody's got a connection with a sewer line company, then you can get some work done on that. Then that's great. The nice thing about deals like that, where sewer's an issue, is that the seller's not going to find many buyers. Their buyer pool is super small. And so you really negotiate the price down, because they're going to get more and more desperate as time goes forward. And then with the concerns of COVID and the economy changing in Hawaii, then you can really play those buttons. And then Dante, maybe see if they can, see if they'll take 50,000 cash. Cory and I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah. They were actually asking for 350, but based on when I was speaking with the person, we can get it down to 280.
Is it on market or off market?
Off market.
Okay, you're gonna represent the buyer, or are you gonna wholesale or partner?
If anything, it would be like wholesale or representation. So
Okay.
it's whoever wants the deal can have it.
Oh, I know plenty of people on here looking for deals. So
Hey Dante, so put the information in the chat room for your email address, and then can you put the specs one more time, kind of like the property size and then the structure and some of that information? And
yeah, I'll go ahead and post it.
it sounds a little tight though. The spread's not that big.
Yeah, because the house needs full renovation, and the house is, I believe, like about 900 square feet, so it's not that big. So that's why.
Is it CPR'd or?
Not yet. So that's the thing. You're gonna have to CPR the property.
Are they gonna do a partition? Does it have to be a partition sale, or are they all in agreement to sell?
Most likely you might have to partition, or you might not. What happens is that one person owns 3/4 of the property, and he wanted to buy that property, and he's been telling the person that's selling the property right now that they wanted to buy it, but it's been like over 4 years since he's been saying that, and nothing happened. So now they're selling.
Okay. Thanks, Dante. Appreciate it. Yeah,
Dante.
If you can in the chat, and then or in Facebook too.
Go
I don't know a person that has a that has a need. That's Jess. But Jess, maybe we'll ask yours because I really want Melina, Andrew, Marianne, and Oscar to kind of chime in too, because this one is it's a subject to deal. So there's an interesting situation. I'd like to get their input. So maybe if you don't mind, just kind of holding off on that. But does anybody else have any leads, needs, or good deeds?
I just got one to give a heads up to Dante.
Perfect.
There's some neighborhoods on Oahu that have moratoriums on hooking up new water and sewer hookups. You might want to check if that may apply to this particular property in Pearl City or not.
Wow.
Okay.
I
That
didn't know
could
that.
be a showstopper.
Yeah, I'll check.
I got a
Good,
need.
Good insight. Love
I
it.
hope Layla knew that. Otherwise, we got lucky. Layla, there's
Hey, I got a need.
on water hookup in certain areas in Hawaii. So
You broke up. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
there's a moratorium
Oh.
on water hookup in some areas in Hawaii. Did you know that? All right, we might have got lucky on that one. Thanks,
Well,
Lloyd.
they told me that it was gonna take 6 months. Like there was a waiting list. Yeah.
Did we wait 6 months?
I think on one of them, yeah, for sure.
Oh.
But not. I haven't heard that. I'll double check.
Check it out. Richie, what you
Thanks,
got?
Lloyd.
No, I just wanted to know if I'm in the process of interviewing like bookkeepers and record keeping kind of stuff. So if anybody got any of those, but money, we always need money.
We recommend VAs to have a VA do it.
So Richie, try look up this company, slcbookkeeping.com. SLC stands for Salt Lake City. They outsource. It's an ability to outsource all of your bookkeeping services. So they work with a lot of real estate oriented properties. They do our property management and our construction company, and it's awesome. Those guys are on it. They're fast. They're cheap, and they keep everything T's crossed and I's dotted.
All right, thank you.
And if you like one, tee up for an introduction after you check out their website, then let me know because I can get you one discount.
All right, well, good.
A special,
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, it's just getting a little too
It's
complicated now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, the nice thing to them too, for anybody else who's listening in, is that you kind of scan the photo of your receipts or your expenses. For us, it's invoices with contractors in the field. We upload it, and then the bookkeeper just grab it, and they just do everything, reconcile everything every single month, keep us current. Just otherwise, it's just overwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been, and I still think I can do it, but I give up already. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, it's not the best use of your time too. You're better off being on the phone, sourcing deals. Yeah. Talking to lenders and stuff. So, or, you know, driving that nice, cool new Supra. Sweet. Any other leads, needs, good deeds, weeds?
Yeah, I got one. First, thank you guys for sharing on the recording. Actually, the last, I think it was like the last two on the conference call. I wasn't able to go on there, but I think Keone made a good point as far as sharing his punch list and what he puts on the contract. And I guess towards the end, you guys were talking about how to get back some of the subcontractors during, you know, the time that you guys are on escrow. And I'm a project manager myself for construction. So what we do actually in paper, we do a lot of warranty letters. So if you guys want, I can put some templates in the Kekoa Exchange Facebook. I mean, of course, on a flip case, you know, the wording could probably be different because when we do construction, either residential or commercial, we usually give every sub warranty letter for 1 year. So whether it's, you know, drywall or painting or, you know, appliance, they have to keep that, you know, that warranty. But, you know, you guys can always change those wordings, you know, maybe to keep up to the escrow time or something. So I just thought about it because sometimes it is hard to get the subcontractor to commit after they finish the work. But if you want to put something in paper, we definitely send a whole bunch of warranty letters, and they have to sign that just as much as they have to sign the punch list. So that's just one thing I thought about it. But thank you guys for recording, every Friday, because, sometimes, we are busy at the other work, but, I appreciate all you guys.
Oh, thank you so much, Monica. Yes, please. That would be great. Like, I need that. That would be great if you could put that in there. Thank you so much.
I'll put a few different templates that we use. Of course, for warranty, like if you put a new roof, no matter what, they will have to have the warranty of 5 years, 20 years, whatever, right? Under their manufacturer. But just a general for subcontractors, it's very common for a subcontractor to receive a 1-year warranty. So I'll put a few different templates there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Well,
right on. If anybody else has any other needs and such, feel free to post it in the chat as we go along. And then Cory's going to introduce our new guests for today. And as you have questions for today's guests, feel free to throw it in the chat as well. And then we'll do what we can to kind of have a cool conversation here on this Friday, September 11th. Cory Nemoto, take it away.
Well, thank you guys again for hopping on a Friday. Today is a special day for me because our guest is very dear to our hearts. And that is Melina and Andrew Boswell. And we have Ann Bongco, Oscar Solores. And I think is Joel on?
Yeah, I did. I slipped in, but I got to slip out.
Okay.
Here.
Joel.
Hey, how's that? Long time to see.
I know. So they are with the New Wealth Advisors Club, which is the club and more like a family to me that I started with in my career. And just out of coincidence, they've also kind of are starting to grow their roots down here, right here in Honolulu. So it's so surreal, my story with them, because I just remember. And I've told this story many times, so many of you people know my story. But when I started in Riverside, California, I knew nothing about real estate. And I went to their club, which they have headquarters out in Riverside, and was just kind of amazed. And it was my first conference, I guess, or meetup for real estate. And I think I just got lucky, honestly, because there's a lot of other clubs and stuff out there, and some nationally known real estate investing training companies, right, that kind of come and go. But I knew something was special about this group, and years later, now here we are, kind of reconnected, and not only reconnected, but here in Hawaii as well. And we're doing a deal with them. We helped fund a deal out in Kalihi, and Joe and Marianne are kind of running the ship down here in Hawaii. So I just wanted to give a quick introduction to you guys and lead it off kind of with a question more to Melina. And I consider you guys mentors of mine, and even from the way we do business. So, and I have my notebook here from my original training, and I was flipping through it, where I even have my receipts in here and stuff, and like my membership papers. So it's so cool.
Prices have gone up, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
what year was it?
2012.
It was 2011.
11.
Yeah. So, well, this thing is full of notes, and I was flipping through it, and Melina, you're right. When I did the podcast with you guys, and you're talking about how the market is market cycles is one of the first things you guys talk about, because it's in day one in the notebook here. So, and it's so important, especially in times like these, right? So, in 2011, I don't know if you guys can see this.
No, I would love to see. What did I tell you then?
So,
I wonder if it made sense back then.
Was I right?
Well, no, I think Cory wants his money back. That's why he's he's like, that plus compounded interest.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
No ways. Cory has talked about you guys for so long. Like, I feel like I know you just because I've heard so many great stories about the information you shared. And that really became the tool belt upon which Cory built so much of what we do today. And so I think it's just a real honor to have you folks on, and you truly are like family. And so this is our extended family. There's about 100 of us on today that, you know, we really just kind of do life together, do real estate together, and kind of learn from each other, which is what's different about this, is that everybody just kind of chimes in and helps each other. So we're glad that you're on here to help us as well, just kind of get inspired and kind of take the next steps, especially in this really certain time that we're in.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it really knows what the future is going to hold with the economy, which of course the economy drives our wealth or lack of wealth, right? If things don't look so good. So yeah, I would love to, you know, hear a little bit more as Cory kind of guides us through the conversation, but we're excited to have you on the call today.
Thank you. Thank
Cory's
you
still going through his notes. He's kind of stuck
This
back.
is, it says October 7th. My handwriting is trash too, by the way, so sorry about that. But October 7th, 2011, we're in buyer's market phase 1 was what we were talking about. So we're kind of like head
That's
towards the bottom, right?
amazing.
That's
So,
2011, that was right after the last kind of major crash. So this is kind of cool that we're talking prior to this economic recessional economy, I guess, if you want to call it that. So woohoo. Well, we're going to all take notes and date it too. So that way 10 years from now, we could say, hey, your stuff made a lot of sense. Or we'll be like, hey, you were wrong. Where was your crystal ball? Come on.
Yeah.
So we're expecting today, like literally step by step, how do we become wealthy during the next pandemic recession?
Yeah.
that's actually the perfect lead off, because I wanted to ask Melina, because we had a great conversation right before COVID. I was in Riverside with them, and we were doing the podcast, and I got to check out their properties, you know, be back in the same office where I learned, you know, and so it was awesome. And right before, on my way back is when, you know, COVID started to just take the world by storm. And so we were talking about the market though, and where we were and stuff. So I wanted to ask you, Melina, where do you think we are and where do you think we're heading, especially during these times?
Yeah. You know, it's interesting, you know, when COVID first hit, you know, everybody was freaking out, and my instinct was not to freak out. My instinct was to dive in and, you know, seize the moment, really. You know, it's interesting because I started in real estate investing in 2007. Right. So right when the market was tipping, in my mind, I thought it had already exploded, you know, sorry. So when I thought that the market had exploded or it was done, I knew it was the time to buy. So somehow instinctively I knew that. And so I built most of my wealth between 2008 and 2011. That's when I was buying, probably up until 2012. And I've just tried to, you know, continue to add to my portfolio ever since then. So a lot of people felt like when COVID hit, that the market was going to be just like it was in 2008, right? 2009, depending on where your money was. You know, people will tell you the crash was in 2008. Some will say it was in 2009, but it's all very, you know, it's all personal, right? Subjective. So I never felt like COVID was going to have an impact on our real estate market at all. It just instinctively didn't seem right to me. And strangely, in fact, you and I walked a property. Do you remember the property we walked when you were here in March? That was down the street from the house from where I grew up, right? Mm-hmm. We just finished this rehab. Literally, we put it on the market on like March 16th. And I think we got shut down. I don't know. It was like the day before, whatever it was. It was that week. And so I was like, oh, well, I guess this will be the test to see what's going on. And ironically, I had offers immediately, even the first week of shutdown. When we got locked up, so I was like, well, so maybe that had a lot to do with my instinct about what's happening with the market. But there was a conversation of maybe we shouldn't list it because the market, you know, who knows what's going to happen. And I was like, no, here's one truth that cannot be avoided. And that is that we have a shortage of inventory. We still have a shortage of inventory. We have more people than we do doors. And you can't escape that. And we're making more people. I mean, I bet there's going to be, you know, like baby boomers, there's going to be COVID boomers or something, right? I'm imagining somebody, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So for me, and I think I said this, I think we might have had this conversation when we did the podcast together, but I still feel like the market is, I still think it's a bullish market. I don't see anything changing. I think that we're seeing an economic downturn, but I think we've been seeing an economic downturn for the last 8 years. And in my mind, income has not been commensurate with what the economy is doing. And it's been that way for the last 7 or 8 years. So I don't see it having a huge impact. What my experience is, and my gut also, is that we are going to remain bullish. I think everybody should buy. I'm still acting like I'm in a seller's market, the very top of a seller's market, and I behave as such. So what changes with the market is what your strategies are, right? For me right now, it's, quicker to get in, get out, and get paid. And probably this is, that's what you do in a seller's market, is you get in, get out, get paid as quickly as you possibly can. And you pick some things up along the way. But based on the fact that we have a shortage of inventory, I think
low
that
interest rates too, right?
Low interest rates. And it's interesting too, that people are working from home now.
Right.
It's a really, really big thing. People are spending time and money at home. And so people will invest in real estate. So I also have a lot of thoughts about building and developing, and, the way I see it. And I really love, I watch the market specifically. I'm in Southern California, right? I live in Huntington Beach. So I watch, my office is in Riverside, and I watch the market here, and I watch the inland counties most, because anything that's along the coast there's not a lot of shift, right? It's always desirable. So I watch the counties that are a little bit more inland, because you can see what's happening. If you start to see longer days on market, I start to notice those things, and I watch them when I'm looking more inland. But even in the inland cities right now, it's actually booming more, because people aren't having to commute, right? Because people aren't having to go into Los Angeles or into Orange County, that live inland where it's cheaper to live, right? And they have to work in the bigger cities. People aren't commuting. So now people are looking for, because they can buy more house for less money at a great rate.
Awesome. So that's what I was going to ask, is what if there is some sort of turn or anything, what is the indicators that you look at? So days on market in maybe like more secondary markets, or like inland, like the Inland Empire, right?
Yes.
Would see movement first, most likely.
Yes,
right?
they would be
Also,
sitting
I
there.
believe it's like San Diego. Like I think Hawaii's market kind of mirrors San Diego. So you would look at days on market. Is there anything else you kind of look for, or that when you see it kind of alarms you to feel like I better be prepared?
Decrease in pricing or pricing improvements.
Right. Yeah.
So I try to watch so I can see, or is there, are properties going up? Are they going down when they're listed? And that's all very subjective based on how agents choose to market a property. People have different theories about that, deep to slow and whatever. So it's kind of what my thoughts are.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah, thanks for that, Melina. And do you mind giving like a quick intro to everyone here on the call?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll be happy to. So, next to me is my offspring. This is the fruit of my loin, Andrew.
Does your business card say that, Andrew? Is that how you're known? Is like you go out to interviews and business meetings and you're like, I am the fruit of the loin.
Yes, it actually just says the son, the youngest son. That's all it says, actually.
So I humiliate and embarrass as much as I can. It's my thing. So, so this is Andrew. He is, he is in charge of operations. He works operations next to Oscar. So Andrew, I don't know, just a quick bio is that my husband and I started our company together in, as it sits right now in 2011, and I lost my husband 2.5 years ago. And so Andrew and my other son, David, his older brother, were both living in Idaho at the time. And so they came home to work with me and to help me run the company. And so, and then, Andrew was here for a year, and then I sent him to Hawaii. So, poor kid.
Yeah, that's, people, but parents have sent kids to worse places.
Yeah, it was tough life. Tough
Yeah,
life.
you got a pretty good mom there. I think that she could have sent you to a lot of other places, bro.
I sent him other places, but anyway, so
That's an inside joke. Sorry.
Inside joke. So anyway, so Andrew, and he did really start the club in Hawaii, which was a really big deal, with Joel and Ann Bongco, who are both on here right now. They are locals. They're in Oahu, in Mililani, and they actually came over to Riverside and trained with my husband and I in 2013. And we've remained friends, and they've continued to work their real estate business over the last several years. And when my husband passed, I issued a challenge at his funeral, and I challenged people to do something great in the next year, because my husband his 2-word personal purpose statement was provoking greatness. And that's what he really lived to do, was to provoke greatness in other people. And so I made a challenge and said, hey, if you want to honor my husband's life, then do something great. And then don't tell me about it, just do it. And then when you do it, share it with me. And so Marianne actually came, she flew over for Dave's funeral, and she came home and told Joel about the challenge I issued, and they decided that their great thing was going to be to open up, duplicate our club over there in Hawaii. So
because we've never expanded before. We've been in Riverside for 10 years, only working basically in Southern California. We do some investing outside of California as well, but mainly we had always only been here in Southern California. We'd never expanded before. So it was a really big step, not just for the Boncos, but for us to take it on and be willing to do it. It was a weird thing, but then we got to Hawaii and learned that the culture there is exactly the culture that our club is, and it's been awesome.
Yeah.
And I want to just say a few words on that, because everyone here on the call, they hear it from all of us every time, and it's like, what's so important to us is the culture that we're building here, of abundance and sharing and really genuinely caring for one another, because it can be a very cutthroat industry. And when there's big money and big dollars like on the line, that can kind of sway people in the wrong direction, right? And we're very it's very important to us to keep good people, genuine people who want to help each other close to us. Mm-hmm. And with everything that you guys built over the years, I know I felt it from the beginning when I first came in the room, that I'm in the right place. I'm safe with these people. They genuinely care. And just to speak about Dave, Melina's husband, he was something special. He was such an inspirational guy, and you and him on stage, it changed me, because it lit a fire, like it sparked something in me that is with me, till this day, and will forever be with me. And his words of provoking greatness, that's what I'm shooting for. And I think I've told you guys this before, that, when my time comes, and my days are done, I hope that my legacy is a fraction of what his was, and carries on like how you guys are doing today. So thank you again for everything, you guys. You guys have helped me in ways more than just business. It's something special. And I really want to put a spotlight on the rest of your team too, because I know how important the team is to build something big and special and carry on Dave's legacy, right? So Joel and Marianne are here in Hawaii too, and Oscar as well. So I want to just ask, what are you guys working on now? Like, what's the next kind of iteration, right? Because every now and then you guys have different iterations. So is any of you guys working on anything?
We did a podcast this morning about our newest iteration.
We literally just recorded we literally just came from recording a podcast, and we just divulged are the sixth. It'll be the sixth iteration of the club, and so Oscar is up there, Oscar Solaris, and he is the COO of the club, and so I'm just going to tell you, basically, I'm taking a sabbatical actually, and so yeah, so the next iteration is. I'm actually leaving tomorrow morning. I'm gonna walk all 21 missions in California. So,
Oh, wow. What
Yeah.
does that mean? You're gonna walk all 21 missions?
I'm gonna walk from San Diego to Sonoma. It's 803 miles. And I'm going to go it's a pilgrim walk. I'm doing a pilgrimage to walk from every single mission. There's 21 missions that were built along the coast of California for sanctuary. And so I'm going to walk each one of them.
Like you're going to walk with your feet? Like with
my feet.
One step at a time?
Oh
my goodness. That is, that's awesome.
For you.
The fire is starting to make sense, isn't it?
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's fantastic. So is that, you're going to walk it. So I'm assuming that has a special meaning for you in some way.
Yeah. I'm doing it honestly for, since my husband died, I haven't stopped. I took 30 days off and I've been going ever since, and it was 2.5 years now, and I'm tired.
Yeah. I'm
tired. And so I'm ready for some spiritual breakthrough, some emotional healing.
Yeah.
And I believe that I've equipped the team. They can run without me. I am fully believe that, and I know that. And so the next iteration is new leaders, these are all the new leadership.
That's awesome. The next generation's taking over. Watch out. You're going to come back and they're going to change your fireplace,
That's I'll be in trouble then.
I'd like to stay alive.
Yeah. When you pass the baton, you got to set some parameters. You got to be like, there's certain things you can't touch, but there's other things you can. So, that's inspiring by itself. And I think maybe one day we could have you back to talk about succession planning.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So many of us, we're building real estate companies. We're building some organizations that, we're thinking of the here and now, and we don't oftentimes think what happens when life happens. A spouse dies, a kid gets sick, or, something changes, and then suddenly, life changes. And so, how do we deal with that? So it would be really inspiring. So maybe when you're done with your pilgrimage, I'm hoping you're going to post on social media so we could keep up to date and follow along.
I appreciate that. I think I will. It's one thing I'm stuck at is social media. So
she's gonna do we got her working on a vlog. I got her set up with a GoPro and everything, and she's gonna take a camera the whole time, even though she doesn't want to. She's gonna do a vlog, so it will be out there. It will.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for that.
That's awesome.
So the next, go ahead, Oscar. I think Oscar was going to share something, if that's.
I don't know what you want me to share. First of all, thank you guys. I love the energy, love the folks, I love the interaction that's going on. It's pretty cool. Love seeing it because it is so much like our environment, our culture, if you will. So it's cool stuff, man. So Kekoa, love it, man. Cory, good job. Good job what you guys putting together.
Seriously.
So our sixth iteration is exciting, actually. We probably went out a little bit on the limb on how I worded things today on the podcast, but I think it's actually true. We put a lot of ourselves into the community and to the things the product that we put out. We like to believe that everything that we put out there has to be, obviously we can't be perfect, but man, we get pretty close, right? And it's our signature, it's our autograph, if you will. So it's like we do our flips, it's like we do anything that we do, our contracts, our agreements, or all that stuff. It's always top. So we're looking to really just continue to move forward, grow it more, go international, go global. Our furthest attendee in any of our training has been in Thailand. So, we're doing some cool stuff. We pivoted really well with everything that's going on, and I'm excited for David and Andrew being even more so involved and making some decisions and taking control of certain things. And it's good because it's also going to free us up to, Melina's getting freed up to do some things as well. It's definitely going to help me to refocus on a few other things that need to be done. And, Cory, you're aware of some of the stuff that we're working on
Like what?
Yeah, so it includes really going vertical, right? Very similar to what you guys did. We're working on our brokerage. We're working on escrow company. We're working on a few other things. So, and ultimately, I'd like for NWAC to be known for providing all levels of real estate education, not just the investment side, but continued education for real estate agents, training that continuing to train escrow officers so that they're the best of the best, right? So that the cream of the crop is out there, and it's this business. There's a fine line in how we operate ethically and morally, right? And I think that's lost. So we gotta kind of bring people back in and really keep them where they're supposed to be to have the success that they want to have. So kudos to you guys. You guys are doing a cool job.
That's going to be very exciting to see you guys start vertically integrating and seeing how it goes. And I guess, Oscar, I want to throw this question to you because, there's people on the call from different markets, across the nation, and some people invest out of state. And so what has been, I guess, your experience, and then maybe I'll throw it to Andrew and Melina, getting situated in Hawaii? Like, did you guys do like market research? Did you just dive right in and kind of just survey the land and just start getting going? Like, what was the process like, and what was the experience? And what do you?
Love it. Thanks, man. Great question, and I think my answer, I believe, will be applicable to everywhere, even from city to city type thing. One of the things that we made a point of is, yes, understanding the market. So we had to do our market research and understanding what's going on. And it's very diverse, right? Every island has its own little thing going and all that. But a big thing for us, and hats off to Joel and Marianne for this, is that we had to immerse ourselves into the culture, right? Because one of the things, me in particular, right? I'm going to show up and people don't really know, what is he really, right? Is he a local? Is he not a local? What's going on, right? And then they hear me talking, it's like, oh, he's a mainlander, got it. But that stigma, right, of the mainlander coming into Hawaii, yeah, it's interesting, man. It's a thing, right? And so for us, learning the culture was absolutely like the thing that had to happen for us, so that we could really understand the people, because our model is based on helping and serving people first. That's the biggest thing. And if we can't do that, then why am I there? Right? But in order to be able to do that, I really have to know the culture. I need to know the neighborhoods. I need to understand, what words are safe, what words are not safe, right? How to approach people, how to connect with people, all those things that are important. So, and really, as everybody here on this call goes out to different markets, just be aware of that, because it's one thing to pick up the phone and have a conversation with somebody on the other end, but when you land there, man, you have to be able to connect. So that's the biggest thing, I think. Biggest kudos to the club and to what Dave and Melina put together, right? Is that was a lot of the foundation that was taught, was being able to build that personal connection and understanding what you're stepping into. Because we really just took that and said, hey, Hawaii, let's go do that. And let's really learn the culture.
Yeah. And it's, and you guys didn't have to have much training on that anyways, although you guys did say that Joel and Marianne kind of gave a crash course in the aloha spirit out here and what to expect, right?
Yeah, even on pigeon, right? He gave us a crash course on pigeon. So.
Yeah, right.
He called it the aloha curtain.
Yeah. Hey, Cory, can I add to that? One of the things that we realize, no matter what market you're in, the foundation that NWAC built is there, right? Real estate is real estate no matter where you're at. But what people fail to remember is what Oscar was saying. It's about the people first. It doesn't matter if you got Idaho or Vegas. It's really about the people, because the foundation is there and it's solid. It's solid. All you have to do is be able to have the akamai and implement it in any market. But people first. Always remember people first. Yeah.
So I think a lot of people all of our friends, our ohana that we're building here on the call, I'm sure they can kind of start to see that where I was trained, because we all keep, like, all of us always say, it's people first, relationships first, people over profits. Yeah. And so I'm so glad to hear you guys kind of reiterate that. And It really is, because Hawaii is a different market. The fundamentals of investing is the same, right? But what's different is the land. I mean, the land alone is different. There's some areas where it's just,
Yes.
it's culturally sensitive, right? In the North Shore of Oahu, you know, they're anti-development, anti-gentrification, and rightfully so in some areas, because, you know, some areas it shouldn't be developed, right? And but that understanding that is not easy coming in. But I know it was an easy transition for you guys because that's who you are, you know. So it makes me happy that you're here to serve other investors that are coming in.
Absolutely. There's two things that I think, there's two concepts that I think that I've lived my life, my entire professional life, and I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years, is always people over money and process over outcome always. Like if you can always remember those two things, process over outcome, and don't be tied to the outcome of whatever it is that you're working on. If you put people over money and you put process over outcome, you will never be hungry. You will never go hungry. You will always be able to bring food to your table, always, for your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Cory, I want to just do a quick shout out to our team. Some of them are here. And and just so you know, I'm not sure where Patty is now. I think it's 60 she saved.
Yeah, I think so.
Right? 60 homeowners saved their home. And she's still going strong. And in Hawaii, we're about 10 that we saved and still working for foreclosure.
Yeah, we work. I get that's kind of a small detail. So like our lead strategy is a big thing for us. For leads, we work primarily with distressed homeowners, right? So pre-foreclosure, foreclosure. So that's our working ground. And the reason is I guess just to put it simply, we kind of have a process that we go through when we knock on someone's door. And the first thing that we will do with them is help them save their home if they want to. So one of our club members, Patty in California, so she has helped 60 something homeowners through loan mods and other things to avoid foreclosure and save their home. So that's the first thing that we teach our students to do when they knock on the door. The second thing, if they can't avoid foreclosure because sometimes everything's just too far gone, but the house is in a sellable condition, then we will just hook them up with an agent that we know and trust that will take care of them. And we help them get as much as they possibly can for their house, and we walk away from it. So both of those two situations, we won't make any money at all. And then at the very last case scenario is if we can't even sell it because it's not in a sellable condition or listable condition, then we will look at buying their property. And that's kind of where our business model is too, because everybody knows, like in the back of your mind that, or at least most of us, I know me, like I'll take a discount on something, or I'm sorry, I'll pay more for something or give somebody a discount to work with my friends, right? That's really what it comes down to. When it comes to your friends, people you have a relationship with, you're more willing to go one way or the other, right? Versus when some person selling something knocks on your door, you want to get a discount from them, right? Or make them help you as much as possible. It creates a different relationship when you're doing business. So that's basically our business model, which is why, like Oscar's talking about the culture and learning how to communicate and everything, that's why it's so important for us, because I need to know, the difference of a conversation that I need to have when I walk into someone's house in Hawaii versus when I walk into someone's house in Southern California, because it really is like, we're going about it the same, or we're saying the same things, but we're going about it in a completely different way. So that's why and so I think that was kind of an important little detail in there, is that's where we primarily focus on doing business for that reason, because that's our culture, is that we want to help as many people as we can.
Yes. And that's why I think it's been so successful, because imagine helping that person, right? And doing a loan modification for them. They will never forget that.
Oh, they don't.
You guys help save them. Now, forever, they are, if they know someone else that needs help, they'll call you. And I'm sure they have, right?
Oh, yeah. Patty has even had people that, like, she's so bent on helping them save their homes first that, like, even when they still can't afford it, like, she'll take them through a loan, they still can't afford it, but she's like, no, I'm going to give them the opportunity to save their house. And then, like, a year or so down the road, when they're like, yeah, we really can't afford this, they call Patty again to sell her their house. They're who she wants to work with.
Exactly. So, I love that. I guess for people on the call who don't know exactly, like, what a loan mod is. Can you guys just bird's eye view? You don't have to go too deep if you don't want to, but or if there's not enough time, but like what exactly is that?
So basically a loan modification is just it modifies the note. So if somebody is behind on their mortgage, there's ways to modify their loan. So it might be reducing the interest rate. It might be bringing them current, taking maybe the arrears that they have, putting it to the end of the loan or putting it in a balloon payment at some point. It modifies the note to get them out of foreclosure. So there's a couple of ways to do it. I'm modifying the actual note or doing a forbearance agreement, which is a really big thing right now. There's mandatory forbearance agreements for all these people that haven't made their mortgage payments since COVID started. So, you know, it's important to understand what options are available. So we're big on providing all options for real that are available to homeowners, and we do it all for free. We don't ever charge anybody anything to do what we do. So that's basically what it gets people out of foreclosure. There's a lot of programs that are available to homeowners that are in distress that people that they aren't educated on. So
we also educate them on that, not only in one-on-one conversations, but we have a nonprofit that's set up called the Homeowners Assistance Program, where we do a homeowner foreclosure prevention event where we bring in attorneys and a representative from HUD and educate homeowners on what their options are while they're in distress too.
So that was going to be my question. Are you guys like going to their house and sitting down and helping them through the paperwork, or are you just giving them the phone number and saying, hey, ask these questions? So, and then who's doing that for you guys? Is it you guys, or do you have like a group of people? Is that what that nonprofit is, and how many people are in it?
So it depends on the situation on whether or not we do it like with them or give them information on what to do. And it mainly depends on what they want to do themselves. A lot of homeowners will want our representatives to sit with them and walk them through everything and help them with the paperwork, get on the phone with the bank with them so that they can ask the right questions. It's just a lot of the people that we're helping too, like are elderly, you know, and they don't want to sit on the phone or don't know what to ask or any of those types of things as well. So it just depends on the situation.
That's awesome. And everybody on the call, please feel free to step in if you have a question for anyone. You know, don't feel like you can't, you know, ask questions.
Yeah, definitely.
One thing that just reminds me so much, because Anthony was my first mentor, and I've told stories about, you know, what I went through right starting it. Anthony, he was definitely a hard ass on me, but I credit him because I wasn't ready for it. And you know, I think I would have probably quit early on, because I was door knocking for a year, you know, early on in 2012, when the market was still, you know, recovering, and it was not fun, right? And but the strategy that he was doing, which was backed by you guys, was basically flipping the notes, right? And once I understood what was going on, it really changed my mindset, because I thought investing in real estate was just you buy and hold. You just buy and you rent. You know, I thought that's what real estate investing was all about. I didn't know about wholesaling and flipping houses, and let alone flipping notes. So the first strategy that I kind of learned was a strategy that to this day, I have never met any other investors who have done that strategy, which people are referring to it as backflipping. I saw on the forums and stuff, but basically they were going after jumbo loans, right? Upside down jumbo loans, and basically kind of negotiating with the bank to purchase it at a certain price and have the owner refinance, so the owner can refinance and, you know, and not be upside down anymore, hopefully. And, you know, and the investor gets paid and the bank gets to liquidate, you know, a potentially toxic asset, and everybody won in that deal. And so once I learned that really kind of opened my eyes, like, wow, I can not only make good money, but in this business, but also help a lot of people. And so, and a lot of Anthony's tough words to me, come to find out recently when I reconnected with you guys here in Hawaii, is actually Dave's words. Like, to this day, it gives me like goosebumps when I think about it, because I could tell how much Dave and you, Melina, and the entire club meant to Anthony and he referred to you guys as his mentors, so again, everyone on the call, if you have questions, there's a wealth of knowledge here, and feel free to step in if you'd like. Real quick, Pearson was asking if there's any static issues. I guess he's getting static, so maybe it might just be on your side, but let us know, please. Okay,
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
Go ahead, Melina.
I was just going to say,
Just as Cory mentioned, there's no static issues. Now we can't hear Melina.
Okay, you're back. We got you.
Cory, you brought down the internet just with your words.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So powerful, this guy. He opens his mouth and everything falls apart. One word.
I'm gonna mute.
Pearson, welcome back. There's now no static, but now everybody's got static. It's all Cory's fault.
Tables have turned.
Clearly. Can you guys hear me okay now?
We're good, yeah.
Okay, so I was just going to say, I think one of the things that it's a big miss that people get when they very first become a real estate investor is you're always looking for like the deal. And when I said, process over outcome, I really think it's important to get that this is a very real business. It's a real business. And it takes time to build a real business. And you guys are so fortunate that you have this community here to bounce things off of, to talk through, to hear from those of us that kind of started from nothing, and when there was no flipping shows, there was no, nothing. We, a lot of us we were pioneering this idea. And so I think in the beginning, I find a lot of people don't view this, or they don't see it as a real business. And what we're giving to you right now is our actual business model. It's a business model and it's a way of life. And it's not a get rich overnight, right? It's a long-term sustaining business model that is fully sustainable, that is very real, that anybody can do. And I want to encourage you that you guys, you have all the resources you need. You have them all right here. And always be remembering that, this is a marathon. It's not a short-term anything. You can have short-term, gains along the way. But the truth is, this is a real business. It's a real life business. When I started this business, I was totally broke, right? Cory started as a kid, it's a real business. And so, but what you can create in a 10-year span is miraculous. So I just want to encourage you, don't be thinking about just the end of this year and what have I done this year. Look at it from 10 years from now and what you can create. And there isn't any other business in the world that I believe at all that you can create real wealth like you can in real estate investing. So if you feel discouraged or you feel like, man, nothing's happening yet, like don't get discouraged. No, it's a real business. It's a very real business.
It's part of the process, right? Like you said, so learn to embrace the grind, right?
Yes.
It's like wrestling is like, you have to just love to feel the pain. You have to learn to love it.
Yeah. It's conditioning for sure.
Real quick, just to add on to what Melina was sharing with you guys and to tie it into what Ashley asked, right, is how many people are involved in all that. I know when I got started in this business back in 2005, I was a lone ranger, right? It was just me. I had no community, I had no team, I had no resources around me that I could trust or any of that. And that's a challenge. So I love that you guys are connected here, but continue to build that network and that community for yourselves and create those teams and create the leverage that's necessary, because you're going to get more done. It's just a huge piece that's missing for a lot of us, is that, I want everything because I want to make everything, right? And the reality is that's kind of a scarcity mentality. And I know you guys are not about that, right? So when you start talking in a different, thinking and talking in different ways, it benefits you in the long run. We have 474 active members right now in our club, with more to be added here in a couple of weeks because there's new folks coming in, and we continue to grow it. We're experiencing some growth not only in Hawaii now, but we have people that are moving to the East Coast. We have some folks that are in the Arkansas and Midwest area, and so it's starting to propagate in a way that, man, it's going to create some really cool stuff. And that seed planting that all of you are capable of doing, and there's so much power in that. There's just so much power in that. It's cool stuff, but don't do it alone. It's not worth the headaches.
Yes. Yeah, it's not. And like I can personally vouch for that because that's my life. You know, I was inspired by you guys. I learned the fundamentals. Had a good solid year of growing, you know, because that first year was probably my most challenging. And I grew the most though. I found out what I had inside of me, you know, with Anthony pushing me, and I think if I didn't have that year, it would have been a rough road. Like I said, I probably would have quit. And so I think the things that you guys are doing, not only teaching on the fundamentals and the actual tangible knowledge that you need to invest in real estate in you know, multiple markets, it's also personal growth, which is very important. And like I say, you know, like majority of people tend to glaze over that, right? Because there's nothing real tangible. They want the tangible knowledge of, you know, how do I market for, how do I get deals and how do I get money, right? And how do I find great contractors? How do I manage them? You won't even get to that point if you don't have the right mindset, right? And I think, is it day 1 or 2 in training where you talk about the mindset? Because we were talking about this too on the podcast, is like, you may not even be ready for success. You know, it may come, but if you're not ready, it could actually be to your detriment, and it could be dangerous for you if you receive success too fast, too easy, and too early. I think it could actually hurt your career. You know, because when the speed bumps come, and they will come, you know, how do you handle that? How do you react to, you know, trial, like, you know, any challenges? And that's why it's important to have, you know, good people around you too, because it's not a straight line in this business. It's not a straight path to the top, for sure. And I think it's important to have that core fundamentals about personal growth too.
Yeah, I believe that real estate investing is 90% mindset and 10% technique. But I really believe, I think any kind of entrepreneurship, that's the truth. I think if you aren't right here, it doesn't matter. Whatever you're selling, whatever widget you got is, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess more on the tangible side, we can move to, I want to call on Jessica Brown. Jess, do you want to talk about your lead, and maybe we can all put our heads together to help you solve this and figure this out, lock it up on the contract?
Hey, yeah. So I talked to Cory yesterday about a lead I had in Eva Beach. And okay, so long story short, I always say long story short, but it tends to be longer. So I had a lead through the text message campaign, and it is a out-of-state absentee homeowner. He's had tenants in the property for, he said, 10 plus years. They were previously Section 8, but I guess the husband passed in January. He received February's rent, which was $700 because the Section 8 took care of the rest. But since that time in February, he hasn't received any rent. The tenants did not inherit the Section 8 voucher, so they just haven't paid anything since February. And I believe the extension, I always mispronounce this word, the moratorium on evictions. That's so yeah, because of that, he has no legal rights to kick the tenants out. So I initially, about 2 weeks ago, I made a cash offer as a wholesale deal. He verbally accepted instantly on the phone after I made the offer, which was kind of surprising. Normally, I feel like it takes more time to settle. So anyway, you know, I told him I could follow up in a couple of days. If there was any concerns he had, I could help answer his questions. He was kind of talking out loud. He's like, oh, okay, I'll accept the offer. Sounds good. He's talking out loud with the profits he'll make. And then kind of goes into, well, you know, let me still think it over. A week later, and for some reason, I was explaining to Cory, he only wants to talk on Sundays. So I need to like wait a whole week to talk to him. And then a week later, I get back in touch, and, you know, he changes his offer. He changed the purchase price. Now he wants 100,000 more. So we initially agreed on 200,000. Then he just I tried calling because we had a scheduled call. Then he just texted me 300,000. From there, I kind of knew it wasn't going to work as a wholesale deal. I was thinking, maybe he might be open to a subject to. So he's also an investor himself. So just some background, he tells me he has properties, Europe, Florida, all over the US. So I just followed up with a text. I said, if he needed any more help, I'd still be here. He can reach out. And then I offered another solution. And I just, in a text, I said, if you're still open to terms, maybe there's something we can do there. And he called me back, texted me. He said, oh, what kind of terms are you looking at? I had a friend help me with this because I'm very new to subject to. I kind of have like a general understanding of it, but I didn't want to get caught, trying to explain something, mis-explain something incorrectly. So after I had a friend, Tomas, who's on the call sometimes, he kind of helped me with this deal, and we got on the phone with this seller. Tomas kind of went and really generally explained how we could help, and just kind of going over, we want to know what your needs are, like what can we do for you in order to make this work? What, are you looking for cash right away? And pretty much the seller just said, he's kind of open to it. He just wants a little more information. I tried again following back up with a text after the call because he was busy. So he just told me he wants, in reference to a deposit, he said he wants 60K down. And other than that, I don't really know what to do with it. I was telling Cory, I tried to get more of the TI. I asked him, what it was he owed on the mortgage. But again, he didn't get back to me. So it's kind of like a ghosting thing, and I got to try to call him again and, see what's going on. So I just don't really know what to do with it, I guess.
Well, talk about the economics of the deal. Like, what's your ARV?
So the
rehab?
ARV is down. So the after repair value is at conservatively it's 315,000, and then on the high end, one did sell that was a complete renovation at 338, which was one of the last sales in that building, and he owes 132,000 left on the mortgage. I estimated the rehab budget at about 40,000. He didn't have any photos of the property. He only explained it was in rough condition, and the comps are showing, about 315,000 conservatively.
So that's not much of a spread. So yeah, maybe some kind of terms like,
Did you just say that you offered 200 and then he just went up 100 to 300,000? So now your ARV is at what?
It was conservatively 315,000.
But he just raised this price to 300,000.
Yes, a week after we had a verbal agreement. Then next week it was a whole extra 100,000.
Wow.
Well,
so I don't know.
I don't think you got a deal there.
Yeah.
I guess if you did structure it with terms, and how much is he renting it for?
Zero.
Huh?
Zero. Oh yeah, right. Zero.
1,700. So 1,700 is what it's being rented for.
But she stopped paying. The tenant stopped paying.
Hasn't paid since February. What was his last payment he received? So he told me he was just, paying for the mortgage just out of his own pocket, no income. So I don't know if there's anything to salvage as a subject to, or if it's just kind of done.
Have you talked to the tenant, Jessica?
So that's the other thing. I tried getting in contact with like his property manager to get more insight on the issue, but I haven't talked to the tenant directly or anything like that, or even the property manager. Again, like he's kind of difficult. I asked for the property manager's phone number. He hasn't given it to me. He just kind of told me what the company was. So I was trying to call, and I think it's just the property manager for the building. I don't think it's like an actual third-party property management company.
Yeah. So a couple of things that happened for me is like there's some dots that don't compute. So, and maybe I missed it, but I thought you said that it was Section 8.
Mm-hmm.
And so Section 8 shouldn't be impacted at all by COVID. So,
So as far as I got, he just said that the husband passed away, who the Section 8 was in the husband's name.
Oh, got it. Oh, okay.
So,
I missed that. Okay. So yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know what else to do with that one. That was just kind of maybe gonna do one more follow-up and then see where it went. But other than that, I'm totally clueless as to.
So let me chime in real quick. So I like where Melina's question went of, have you spoken to the tenant?
Okay.
Right? Because see, right now you're flying a little blind, right? Because you don't know the actual condition other than it's like it's got some issues. But if you can befriend the tenant, and even if the door just opens, so you can actually get a visual and have an idea of what you're dealing with, that could be a shift in conversation, because it doesn't sound like he even knows what that condition is. Right. So in his mind is like, man, I should be at the top of the market on it because it's rentable, and right. But and another thing is that if you're talking subject to, something that might incline him to carry the conversation and adjust terms and even pricing is, well, hey, look, you have a problem tenant. I'm willing to take your problem, but you got to work with me here, right? So let's make this a win-win for everybody, and let's figure something out that makes sense. And terms could be that, you have to understand obviously the PITI, somebody asked there, what is the PITI? Yeah, you need to understand that because you need to know what you're stepping into. Right. What rent you can get for it is the second piece. And then if he's willing to do a carryback, then maybe it's zero money out of pocket, right? Because he's getting his money through a trickle effect instead of all at once. And then you can always revisit things afterwards when you refi and do those types of things. So I think there's a few angles that you can really play with to get an idea of, man, what is that condition? And then that's going to give you some ammunition to go back and have a different conversation about it. Because, hey, I don't know if you're aware, but, right, this is what I see is going on with the property. And this is liability, and these are things that, that can come up, so.
Okay, so first step would be to initially go to the property, meet the tenant, see how would you approach, I just kind of feel like it's really sensitive and I don't want to, maybe overstep and come off insensitive to what's going on. So how would you approach the conversation showing up to the house?
I like that recommendation.
Hang on, Papa. Hey, also, can I add something to that? We're actually on an acquisition similar to that, Jessica. And just like Oscar and how we always approach anyone in the club is that we're problem solver. So if you keen on that, you'd be surprised how he shifts and pivot to your benefit. So that's what we did with a house right now that we're working on. Somebody tried to help her. It's a house in Mauka. And when she told them her problem, they said, well, you need to fix that before we can help you. And so we came in and we said, okay, what is your problem? It's similar tenant. It's a little bit more complicated because her tenant is her ex-husband who has a long criminal, but in any case, to make the story short, we did Dave said real estate is not found, it's created. So, shout out to him. And we did that. And we did some creative stuff. So we actually just closed on her Makaha condo today. So we can get her ex-husband out of that house, get him situated there. And she's doing a seller's carryback for us.
Okay.
So there's a lot. Yeah. So again, hone in on the problem.
Okay.
And if you can provide that solution for him, you'd be surprised. And this lady that we're working in, initially when I offered her the price, she told me I was insulting her. And she wanted $100,000 more. But when we provided her with the solution, she agreed to the money and terms that we presented to her. So we're in contract with her.
And keep in mind too that, like Marianne said, the homeowner has problems, but the tenants have problems too.
That's exactly it.
So I'll let you go there. Go there, Andrew, with that.
That's what I was gonna say is that I totally get like how uncomfortable it could be to approach the tenants in this situation. Like that's me because I don't even like to approach anyone in general. But what I was gonna say is like, if you really do put yourself in their shoes, like they have a serious problem. The moratorium is kind of saving their asses right now, but that's really, really heavy on their shoulders is, hey, what happens when this ends and they can evict us? So nobody wants to be evicted, right? Like that's as bad for a tenant as it is for a homeowner going through foreclosure, right? Like you want to avoid that at all costs. So if you come from that perspective, right, you are someone who can offer resources to them if you're willing on how to help them out of their problem too, right? And I was just telling her, like, I bet you, I would bet money that if you sent your homeowner a picture of the inside of his house, he would call you even if it was a Tuesday, like because there's something there. He doesn't know, so that's a problem for him, and they know, right? So they know what they're living in. They know that it's going to be an issue. They know that the moratorium is going to end and they're going to get evicted at some point. So that's a problem that you can solve, right? And you can help them solve that. So you're not showing up in a position of asking for something from them. You're showing up in a position of, hey, I'm here to help you at the same time as helping your homeowner, right? So you're gonna, that's why she's saying you need to build rapport with the home or with the tenants, is because they are, like, that's the other biggest problem, right? Is even if you get him to agree to your terms, you still have your tenants there that you have to deal with. So if you, it's like, why not cut the problem off right at the head and get in there and speak with the tenants, right? And create a relationship with them, see what you could do to help them out of their problem. And it will put you in everyone's good graces and create a win-win for everyone. And that's where we're talking about the deals are not found, they're created, you know?
Gotcha.
Problem solvers.
Yeah. Hey, Marianne, if you're okay, I can try to contact you after. We could talk about it.
Yeah, let's process. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm open.
cool.
Just call me. Okay.
Nice.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Hey,
Well,
Jessica, because he mentioned 200,000 and he agreed to it, there's a saying that we say in real estate: he who names his price first loses. So 200,000 is his price.
Okay.
Something caused him to come up $100,000, and so I think he somehow thinks that you're able to squeeze more money. Any seller who can squeeze more money is going to squeeze more money, but every investor squeezes the other direction. So again, everybody said it. I'd say 100% agree. You got to find that problem, and you become the problem solver that every other investor that texts him, he doesn't want to talk to them anymore, because he's probably getting more texts and more calls and more mail.
Exactly.
So you got to send some photos by text of the house to just say, hey, I swung by. Did you know that your roof is leaking? Oh, did you know that you got an abandoned car? Here's a photo of it. And oh, did you know this? And did you know that? And then also, oh, by the way, the eviction moratorium looks really crappy out here in Hawaii. The governor is crazy. He's going to probably make this last for 40 years. You know, so you actually build up, and one of the values Cory and I have is honesty and transparency. So I wouldn't say lie about it, but it doesn't mean that you can't color some really pretty problems based on the truth. Right. And so make the problem so big that the guy's like, oh, Jessica, like 150, take it now, please, you know, solve my problem. So that's what I would say is if he agreed to 200, then that's probably his number. He probably will come down if he agreed that fast. You just got to create enough problems that solve for that delta between whoever told him it's worth 300 and you're 175. I'd be at 175 now. Like if he took 200, I'm at 175, maybe even 150. Go figure out all the problems, send them pictures, send them proof, and then be the one resource that nobody else is, so that you can be the one that he says, yeah, I'll work with you because you know you got the solutions and I trust you.
That's why the tenant is key. Because I think that having a relationship with the tenant will be the thing that separates you from everybody else.
Definitely.
It's a big deal.
Here's something that you can use to speak with the tenant, and it's the absolute truth, right? Is, hey, I'm a local business owner, and I'm walking around having conversations with people because I know right now the times have been really, really hard.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're a renter, an owner, whatever the case is, a lot of struggling going on. I'm just here to see if there's anything that I could do for you.
yeah.
Also, sorry, I just want to chime in because I'm dealing with out-of-state owners right now. Actually, there are two owners. One's on Oahu and one's in California. And the person who's making most of the decisions about this property is the one in California. She sees so much value in the fact that you are on the grounds. Because it sounds like we're gonna have, well, no, it doesn't sound like, per title and escrow, we have to go through a probate. We're like, oh, we'll help you. We contacted lawyers, got an email from the lawyer, forwarded it to her, like, and we're being very transparent. And a lot of the conversations I have on the phone with her are like, I mean, her responses are like, hey, you know, I'm not there. This is really complicated. You know, like she can't travel. Yeah, so we got estimates with pictures of the interior of the place, sent it to her, like, just, you know, it's an amazing benefit that you are boots on the ground. So they can deal with it if they want, or they can go through you, and not a lot of people are going to be willing to do what you're doing. the follow-ups, the meeting people. So I know for sure with out-of-state owners, that is an amazing benefit that you can offer. So like, remember that. And I'm surprised he hasn't even said that, you know, in your conversations, just bring that up also. That's another benefit. Like, oh, I'm willing to do this, you know, no, like anything that you can do, yeah, do it. Like if this sounds like a good lead that you want to pursue, yeah, definitely bring all of that up, all the goods.
Yeah, thanks for all the good advice, guys. I really appreciate it.
Jessica, I just want to add one more thing. I think there's a culture also in Hawaii that people trust you more if they know someone that they know on the island, right? Is it that culture of edifying or verifying that person?
Yep.
If you even know the tenant's name, I'm sure you can connect the dots if they know someone in your Facebook group or someone in this group, knowing how big this group is. That's an additional added value that you can bring to the tenant and add it also with your seller.
Right. You build rapport with the tenant, try to help serve them too, and everything kind of falls in place. I mean, that's our job, is to solve problems, right? And we get paid very well if we do it right. So that's great advice. And I guess thank you to Melina, Andrew, Oscar, Marianne, Joel, and they have a whole team of great people who I've seen. Like, I still see the same faces from like almost 10 years ago, which tells me a lot that it is like a family that you guys built. And that's what, you know, we're trying to do ourselves, build a nice network and circle of people that are going to be with us for years and years and years doing business and serving people. So thank you guys for staying on the call this Friday. And please feel free to reach out to Andrew and Melina and the team at New Wealth, because they are in Hawaii, they're in California. Oh, one question actually. Are you guys, so now that COVID's here, right? Are you guys, is part of the iteration to do more online, like virtual training with people from all over, or?
Yes.
Yeah, we've already gotten started doing that too. We have a member portal, so like all of our stuff is now online, and like she said, we had someone on training a couple months ago from Thailand. So we're we were kind of in the process of getting our foot in the door with online stuff before COVID, and then COVID came through and smacked us in the back of the head and said, hurry up, you know. So we've been really pushing for that and have gone a long way with that since then. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'll just we filmed a podcast back in March, right? Yeah, March.
Yeah.
And so I'll share that in the Facebook group and stuff, and I'll probably on my personal page, because I talk a little bit. We talk a little bit more about all the synergies that we have between you know, the companies that we're building and the companies that you guys are building, and all the people that you're leading, just so that people can, you know, kind of see it, get a peek inside the curtains of you know, what it's like, you know, and kind of also my journey alongside you guys. So I can't thank you guys enough again. And I'm so happy that you're here in Hawaii, because I know there's a lot of lives that you guys are about to change. So,
thank you.
And there's a lot of, you know, wealth of knowledge from your team. So everybody on the call, you know, feel free to reach out to them. I think your handle for social media is New Wealth Advisors Club, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just posted our URL on the chat as well, so you guys can visit our webpage there.
Perfect.
Check us
Thank
out.
you. Thank you, Cory and Kekoa, for having us and for
thank
what
you
you're
for having
doing.
us.
Very much.
Yeah.
You know, very,
Appreciate
very
it.
honored.
Kekoa, you're muted, bro.
We love you, Cory.
I love you guys.
NWC love you.
Well, at least we know one person loves Cory. The rest of us.
We love Cory.
We love Cory.
We love Cory.
We love Cory. We love the steak, Cory.
Well, you guys have been
That was
awesome.
cool. That count?
If you all have time to join us on Fridays, just feel free to jump in from time to time when you've got time. We'd love to just kind of hear updates on what things are going on, and just love your contribution. I mean, really, this is like a Starbucks coffee talk. Since we can't go to Starbucks and we can't have coffee together, it's kind of a nice way to do that. And Melina, we wish you the best. It sounds like you've got quite a journey ahead of you. So we hope that your family will come back from time to time, update us on how things are going, keep us updated on social. And but I totally get it. It's nice to take a break. And I think every single one of us, we give, and sometimes we need to take a short break. I did that 3 years ago. I took 8 weeks, went to this amazing retreat center. It's called the Center of Hope up in Washington. And it's $20,000 a week though. And I was so messed up. I was there for 8 weeks. It was awesome. Changed my life. And, you know, so I get it. I think it's really exciting, and I cheer you on. And if there's anything we could do to support you or pray for you or send you a pair of shoes every 5 miles or so, let us know.
Thank you. I definitely welcome I welcome your prayers for sure. And I so appreciate that you get that. It's so helpful.
Yeah, well, we're in this together. We're a family, and even though sometimes real estate investing is really lonely and it's very competitive and really dog eat dog, I think the new generation of investing is we do it as a team, we do it as a family, we support each other. And there's so much business. We're gonna all do fine financially, but in the end, are we gonna do fine relationally? And I think that's the hope behind what we do here on this Coffee Talk, is that we really are gonna do it together. So please continue to keep us updated. We
really
love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. It means a lot. I'm encouraged to share.
We are too.
And we'll love to have you guys on, you know, to talk about specific subjects, maybe Marianne and Joel or something one time, Oscar another time. And Melina, when you get back and when you're ready to, you know, I'd love to hear. I know you got a wealth of knowledge on the short sale side, and that's a you know, a side that I'd like to, you know, get more knowledge about, so that, you know, if we end up going that route.
Absolutely, I'd be more than
absolutely love that.
Yeah.
So, but please keep us updated.
I will. Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Anybody got any final announcements overall from around the country or all the way to Saudi Arabia? Anybody got anything that? Oh, you know, I got one. Next week is the Badass Conference in Washington State. If you happen to be in Washington, stop by. I think it starts like Friday or Saturday.
What day are you speaking?
Yeah, I'm actually doing a workshop, and I'm really hoping they give me the topic so I can actually decide what, you know, we're talking about. But if you've got time, come to the workshop, so I feel like I can talk to somebody besides myself. That'd be awesome. Actually, I just kid. They just sent me they literally yesterday sent me the topic, and we're going to talk about 10 things to prepare for the coming recession of 2021. So I've started doing a lot of research and a lot of statistics, and just really want it to be substantial. So if any of you have any articles you've read lately from really high-end scholars that really are factual as we plan for next year, it's probably one of the toughest topics, because I'm not Jesus, but at the same time, you know, none of us are. And I think we're all trying to answer that question. So it's been really intriguing. And if you guys have time next week, we'll post it on our socials as to what time the workshop will be. I don't even think it's a workshop. I think it's just like 2 days of speakers. And there's some really incredible speakers from the entire real estate community. So you all have time. I'm the least of those. I think they ran out of good speakers, and then Cory wasn't available. So they're like, you know what, let's call Kekoa. Like, he probably could say something for at least 20 minutes. So yeah, I'll look up a bunch of stuff on YouTube, and I'll just try to, you know, replay it.
You know what? Here's my take. I just refuse to participate in any recession. Just refuse to participate.
Right.
That's how you prepare.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's one of the strategies, is that, you know, I mean, you either allow the environment to dictate your internal environment, or you allow your internal environment to dictate your surroundings.
That's exactly right.
And so, I mean, I think that's a piece of it, but at the same time, there is a certain connection between us and what the reality of what's happening relative to our businesses. So it's like, how do we engage that with that mindset that it's like, hey, we're going to do this. But I think there's a lot of investors out there who are very timid because this is new for them, and they're throwing everything across the line to jump in. And I think that's the time where you either do well or you do bad, and then you go back to your other career and maybe have a dream shattered, which I don't want to see that happen either. So it's that the balance in between. So Melina, if you've got any information, shoot me some emails.
Okay,
I'd love to hear it.
Okay, I will, for sure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you guys again for staying on for the call. And we usually hang around for a few minutes just to talk stories, so feel free. But other than that, everybody have a happy Aloha Friday, and we'll see you next week. Hello, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you.
So is there coffee talk next week with the expo? And thank you, Melina.
That is
such a great insightful piece that you guys did. I'm really curious how you're able to manage that one-on-one time with, I guess you must just have everyone is doing it and chipping away. So I really like that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's 471 members.
Well, how many people would you say, Melina, that you've mentored over the years?
Gosh.
Is it 1,000? Is it 1,000?
Oscar, you probably can share better than me. I don't even know.
An actual mentorship program, you mean, or
just coached, like
just mentorship?
Thousands.
Yeah, like kind of.
I don't know. I mean, she was teaching the foundations and distressed property acquisition classes about 6 times a year, and each class had about 40 students in it, and that was for 9 years. So if you do the math on that, it's a crap load of people that she has poured into and taught the ways of doing this. And you know, here's an interesting thing. So Ashley, I love it, right? That you're like, man, how you guys handle all that? You know what? Yeah, there's some energy depletion that happens. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the end of it all, you know, when the mission is bigger than anything else, then that becomes really, really simple. And our mission is really to empower, encourage, and inspire others, right? So as long as we're doing that, man, it becomes so easy.
And probably also the process and the systems, because you can have the vision, but without having the process and the systems, because I try to pour into as many people as possible, and I just feel like I can't do enough. And you guys you have obviously really good systems in place. And that's hard to do.
Our main thing is leverage too. Like that's the biggest thing, is that anybody that comes in, people that come into our club and like want to work with us, they buy into our mission. So it's like exactly what you said, that everybody kind of chips away, right? So there's, I don't know, probably a dozen of us that have been around for a while that can manage, if you will, you know, answer questions, be on a 5-minute phone call and give a little bit of knowledge to someone who's out in the field, and then they go and do it because everybody is bought into the mission. So it went from, it's a trickle effect. That's really the ripple effect. I'm sorry that it's been her and my dad pouring into probably a dozen of us that have been around for a long time, and all of us pour into everybody else in different aspects. And it's like you said, everybody just wants to get behind the mission, so they all chip away and do their part. It's actually pretty sweet. It's really inspiring.
Yeah. Hey Ashley, this one lady, she's really, really smart, and her name is Melina, and she used to always tell me, don't want it more than they do.
I think she must have always said that to Cory too, because
Melina, I use that now.
I think a lot about the culture from Cory. I see where it's coming from.
Okay.
So, and Cory really pours that into all of his teachings and all the people he mentors as well. And as do I, but it's just really well said and really well spoken. And you guys obviously just have created a culture that has trickled to people like Cory and others, and you, Mary, and Oscar and stuff. And that will just continue to trickle and everything. So it makes sense that you guys can work at scale. It's inspiring.
Yeah, it is. The ripple effect is real. It
is real.
And you know what's really cool is starting the fund, right? Like it's new industry for us, and it's like it's an old industry. It's bankers, you know. So it's a lot. It's like you got to wear a suit when you go to the conferences, and it's just a different.
White guys, man.
I just want life. You're just so white. You have to wear shoes and like just
do that.
Actual pants instead of shorts. It's so
right.
weird.
But what I see happening is, like, I know that our team, because you know all of us on the call, you know, we have that culture, and I think we're starting to shake up that industry. You know, we're taking leadership roles in the leadership committees, you know, and so I think it's gonna, and I think we're making noise, not because of the business that we're doing, but more because like we're fresh, we're new, but we have this, we want to work with everybody. You know, there's more than enough to go around. How do we serve you? It's new. It's so new to some of them. I feel that they're kind of wondering, like, what's in it for these guys, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's how we work.
Awesome.
And, yeah, so we'll see if we can, you know, change a little bit of the culture in the banking side.
Oh my gosh.
Dude,
That is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing to consider. I feel like in many ways that's what we did in real estate investing is, you know, we've shaken up the culture in terms of, you know, collaboration and not instead of competition, and this idea that there's plenty to go around for everybody. And you know what's happened is that especially in Southern California, we've forced that way of thinking, and I'm just going to say it was I do believe that we kind of started the dent. We kind of came in, shook everything up, and it's a way of, it's much more common now, you know, instead of being like the good old boys club. Yeah.
Right.
Like,
especially in LA, Southern California side. It's
yeah.
fast paced, cutthroat, and you
Yeah.
know, yeah. So I knew it was a different space, you know, when I came in the first time.
Well, because people think Riverside is like, you know, like the
we're like looked down on, you know,
yeah,
by the rest
we're the
of
ghetto,
SoCal.
you know.
Between LA and San Diego, they like look down on us in the Inland Empire, dude. Like, you know, we're a bunch of hood rats.
Yeah, because we got culture though.
Right.
Well, and I just was like the collaboration instead of competition is probably the biggest thing. Like I keep going back to it, but like there's Adrian Bradley is down here in the screen, but like that's not Adrian Bradley on the camera. There's Adrian. See? So like that's Jasmine right there. You know, they're both club members, and like we can't separate these two now. You know what I mean? They met at the club, have become awesome friends, and now they work together. And it's like that's what we're looking for. You know, like people have asked us. It's funny. People come to our club and they say, hey, like, well, what do you do when two people come across the same lead or are trying to work with the same homeowner? And I like legitimately almost don't have an answer for it, because like we've never had a problem with it. Whenever we have two students who come across the same owner, they work together to see how they can serve the homeowner. And that's literally the culture. And that's what I think is so cool about it, is that that's what's been created through. And you guys have the same thing going on here. That's what's so awesome about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something special that we're building for sure. And I guess real quick, what is the difference? Like, what do you see the difference in the Riverside market and Hawaii? Like, obviously, like Hawaii is like a strong equity market, not so much cash flow. But in Riverside, is there a big difference? Because it's pretty pricey too, in that side.
Yeah, yeah, it's not. Yeah, I would say it's very similar. It's difficult to cash flow. You know, my properties that I hold right now, I'm cash flowing are all short-term rentals.
Airbnbs.
I have short-term rentals, and that's where I am doing very well. And it doesn't actually. And I have one in downtown Riverside, and it performs very, very well.
During these times.
Oh yeah.
Even now.
Yeah. Downtown
people are moving out of the city, like they want to take a break from the city and just move inland.
Yes, yes. And it's funny because we have people that are like local that come to just stay at the Airbnb because they want to get out. I think it was June of this year was our best month ever.
Wow.
This June.
Wow.
Yeah. So people are like, I think, you know, COVID has been there's been much blessings. I have a gratitude journal to COVID, actually. I started it. So
wow.
Airbnb has gotten hit so hard here. We're on an island, no one can come. So Airbnb is like, we definitely are hurting, but I'm hearing in other markets that their Airbnbs are still hot. And people are like, here, you know, I'm wholesaling Airbnbs. And so for me, I'm like, I just don't know what markets those are doing well in. And it's just fascinating to see the difference.
Yeah, you're the first one that said that they're doing well with the vacation rental. So that's awesome to hear. I wanted to connect you guys and Kekoa about the brokerage and kind of you know talk about, because like you know all the headaches and the you know the plus sides of yeah, and then hear what your guys' strategy, because it sounds like Kekoa you know they're linking up with somebody who's really helping to put like systems in place and stuff. And man, I'd be really interested to see how
she already has everything. That's the deal. Like, you know, Ashley hit it when she said creating systems is not easy. That is so freaking true. Creating the right.
I mean, if you have any ideas, I'd love them because I want systems so bad. I have a coach and he tells me things. I'm like, can you just give me the system? Because that's the hardest thing to do is to create it when you are so busy.
It is so completely true. I mean, yeah, we'd be happy to share anything with you, entirely anything. You know, we've created even just our coaching system was an entire thing, you know? So we've now created, you know, like with 3 levels of coaching now that we've created, and creating that system in and of itself was just overwhelming. So the lady that we're looking at joining in brokerage, she has all the systems and escrow, like, and she's got them down. She sounds like she's a lot like you, Ashley, like, you know, like you must love spreadsheets. And are you like an Excel lover or what?
I love to hire people who love them.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm a tornado. I'm not organized at all.
Okay, good. Oh, okay. Yeah. So finding people, like I'm willing to absolutely pay somebody for the right systems, especially if they've put them into place and I can just step in and implement. It is, yeah.
Have any of you guys read the Checklist Manifesto?
No.
It was a book that was recommended to me. I forget whether it was on a podcast. It wasn't directly recommended to me. It was on a podcast. I forget which one. You know what? I think it might have been, who was on 2 weeks ago? There we go. Who was on 2 weeks ago on the Coffee Talk?
Taro recommends it. A lot of people recommend it. It's fantastic. It's all about systems. And I love it. So yeah, definitely. If you need a good book for quick reads here and there, then that's a good one.
Oh, you can't see my phone. I'm on chapter 1 right now.
Up right now. The Checklist Manifesto, yeah?
Checklist Manifesto. I mean, I'm old school. I actually
you just have it right there.
I have pages, like real pages that you can smell.
I love that.
Everybody these days are reading off of their, you know, their iPads and stuff. And I try it, but then I end up falling asleep. It's the weirdest thing.
Yes.
I'm an Audible guy.
Listen to it, and like, oh, I read a book. I'm like, no, you listened to a book.
Yeah,
like, there's
yeah. The reading these days is just not the same.
Okay.
I do so much Excel work that when it's just databasing, it's great to have good info entering while I'm mindlessly working on a million rows of database.
Oh, definitely. Better than, you know, listening to WAP or something.
I used to spend a lot of time on Spotify. Then I changed to Audible and podcast.
And Melina, I'm gonna shoot you my email address so you guys can stay in touch.
Okay, great. Definitely.
I'm not exactly sure how to shoot you that, so I'm just gonna post it in the open chat room. How's that feel?
Okay, perfect.
Or how's that? There you go. Give us a call.
Awesome.
All right. Love to stay in touch with all of you. And
Same. Thank you again.
Yeah, this was
You're heading out tomorrow, right, Melina?
I'm leaving tomorrow morning.
It's so exciting.
I know, and I haven't packed.
What do you need to pack? You're carrying everything you're gonna take. So
exactly, I got to put water. I'm bringing 2 sets of clothes and about 10 pair of socks.
And a couple of pairs of shoes. So then, are you gonna stay in hotel rooms with laundry? Is that how you're gonna?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're gonna have laundry, but I'm gonna bring laundry soap and wash my clothes in the sink.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be wearing like a merino wool.
Dry fit and you know, just wash them and keep going. Bring your sunblock. There's gonna be some sunshine.
Yeah, sunblock.
Where are you going? That requires sunblock and 10 pairs of socks?
I'm walking all 21 missions.
Oh,
California.
How far is that?
I had a
800 miles.
800 miles. 800. How long is that gonna take?
Well, when I like 54 days.
54 days.
You were worried about doing stairway, dude. You feel it? Yeah.
See, now you know
Now you know why I'm psycho like that.
Yeah, now I know.
Fruit of my loin, you see.
Yeah.
54 days? Are you gonna have a phone or like lots of battery packs or?
Yeah. She's within, like, I can go get her if I need to. that was the stipulation.
That's part of the thing. They had to be able
you're
to drive.
Following behind a van?
No.
By yourself?
Yeah.
No support vehicle.
No.
Wow.
You're gonna like stop at gas stations for water?
Yeah, I'll be staying in hotels or at either at Airbnbs, hotels, or there's people actually along the way that open their home to pilgrims that are walking.
Yeah, I've heard that. That is super cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who I'm going to meet.
Yeah, that's the thing. But then, yeah, it's also could be a little sketch. So you kind of gotta.
You know, trafficking and human kidnapping right now is really big because people broke.
Yeah.
Have some mace on you.
It's so funny. Yeah, I went to REI and I just bought a bunch of stuff, you know. And Adriana, she told me, she's my assistant. She's like, "You spent $1,000 at REI," and I go, "What? How the hell did I do that?" She's like, "This is your new hobby. It's expensive, so this better work."
Oh man, that's so exciting. Are you going to document it?
Yeah, I am.
We're giving her a GoPro. She's going to take a GoPro with her, and we're going to do a vlog for it all. My brother will edit
Are you
it.
going to wear it on your head?
I guess. I will. They have one you can wear on your chest.
I think we're going to, yeah,
can wear it on
we
my
might mount it to her
chest.
backpack. I might mount it to her backpack on a strap.
Oh,
Exactly.
they want to be able to see your face.
Yeah, like I want to mount the selfie stick. I'm going to figure out a way to mount the selfie stick to her backpack so that she can just be like, it'll be up here, you know, walk while she's walking the whole time. It should be pretty
But
cool.
you don't want to attract attention to your mom either. When she's walking down the road and you got like contraptions all coming out, like people are gonna probably want to know what's wrong with her.
Right?
Okay, that's fine. She'll be fine.
Oh my God.
Do the one that there's some that actually go with the sunglasses or a necklace. Those are really inconspicuous. Those are cool. They're kind of spendy, but you know, if you're blowing $1,000 at REI, what's a few $1,000s more? It's kind of. And then they do have the ones that go on your sun visor. So like for
Soul
hiking.
finding can be expensive.
Yeah.
With soul finding, yeah, I was like, I feel like I'm doing it cheap.
You're doing it cheap compared to what I spent. So,
Yeah. I'm like, dang, I don't feel bad at all.
no, but you know, the investment is 100,000% worth it, and the ROI is priceless.
I totally get that. Totally.
Yeah.
Can't put a price on the soul.
I actually think if I didn't heed the warning signs of burnout, I would be exactly there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the so I stopped because the doctor said the stress is about to kill you, and they said if you don't stop, you will die. And I was like, well, I'm not thinking I'm ready to die yet. Like that's kind of a really final thought. So I'm like, I guess we're taking a break, and you know, it's great because it kind of lets you refocus and retune, and hopefully you got a bunch of good podcasts and some mindfulness type journey exercises, because those are amazing. I didn't realize how not mindful I was until after I was mindful. So yeah, this is super exciting.
I heed the warnings. What's that?
Some Netflix, little few
Netflix.
movies. Also, like have the GoPro on one side and then have your phone on the other in case you like want to stream something.
That's not a bad
I have
idea.
no intention of doing anything like that. My goal is
Obviously, Ashley is not ready for something like this. She'd be like, Netflix, my phone, my Keurig, and then over here is gonna have my little pillow. And
Exactly.
Ashley,
I'm ready.
we're
That's
not gonna
5
let
days,
you
not
do that.
54.
Just stay in your car. You're better with a car.
That's so funny. Yeah, there's part of the, you know, like I know that I need to sort of reinvent myself, and so I know in order to reinvent or to rebuild, I have to deconstruct. And so for me, this walk is it's going to deconstruct because it's, you know, breaking me down physically, emotionally, spiritually, and I think that because I'm very strong, like I'm strong-minded, strong-willed, you know, like I'm really, really strong. So it takes a lot for me to deconstruct. And so I think that walking for all this time is what I need. Like I know it's what I need because I'm already mindful. I do yoga. I'm pretty self-disciplined, but I'm like I need a breakthrough.
Would you mind sharing like what were the warning signs? Like I think I need to know.
Yeah, you do.
So,
you do.
You're there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Cory, those were like 3 years ago when you started seeing those things in life.
That's what I'm talking about. I might have to go on this mission walk.
Yeah. Well, you can join me actually. I am going to share where I'm going to be in different journeys and invite people to walk legs with me if anybody wants to. So if anybody would want, because it's about 20 miles a day is what I'm doing. So if anybody would want to walk with me at any point, I'm going to let people know. I would love to have you. So once I get it all, when I have all the legs figured out, I will definitely know you what dates. The legs are figured out. It's just what dates I'm going to be there. Once I know what that looks like, because I don't know what my pace is going to be yet. Mm-hmm. So, but for me, let me tell you what the biggest warning sign was for me. It is this idea of disassociation. So a real warning sign for me is that when there isn't a huge difference between people and things.
When there isn't a big difference between people and things.
Yeah, because for me, you know, people always matter more than everything to me, specifically money. So if I can put people over money, then, you know, that's who I am at my very core. But I started to disassociate. Like people become like more like a thing.
Oh, I see.
You're not relationships become transactional.
What's that?
Relationships become transactional type of situation.
Yes. And you're not really present with people. You know, like one of the things that, you know, I'm very, you know, I hate, there's this new word, they say I'm an empath. I don't really know what that means, but I'm connected to people. And it's because I'm connected to people because I'm present. And when I'm suddenly not, like I'm not present with people, when I'm not present with them, I'm not feeling them. And that was a big red flag for me, that relationships do become transactional. And that's danger zone, real danger zone. Yeah, for me, that was probably the biggest thing. And then also it was like, oh, I would say things like, nah, I don't care. Nah, I don't care. But this or this, I was like, still don't care. I was like, nah, still don't give. Nope, don't care. No, how many F's do I give? 0. I give exactly 0. I do not care. So those are the things that those are red flags. Like, it doesn't matter. Things just, I'm like, whatever. Yeah. You might lose money.
Yeah. One thing with me is like, I'm super hard to get a hold of, like return calls, messages. There's so many ways to contact someone too now. So like, I'm just notorious for like not really getting back to people like as fast as I should. Yeah. But when I do though, like if I take a meeting, like sometimes the meeting goes, you can even ask Ashley, it drives her nuts. But like I'll take a meeting, sometimes it'll turn into 2 hours, you know, and it's just because I feel like I'm present. Like I am present, you know, with that person and stuff. Or if I'm on a phone call, you know, Layla tells me too, I take too long of phone calls, you know, and like just because I think I'm present though, you know, so I am hard to get a hold of, but I think that's good to know, because I will know immediately when I think I'm not present anymore.
You
really don't care, you know, so that's good to at least have that in the back of my mind.
Well, you know, it didn't show up like, it wasn't like all the time. It was like just random. It wasn't like that's where I lived all the time, but I'm just like that, right? Like I'll stay here and I'll continue to feed and, you know, and to share and to whatever and be present with people. And then it would just be like, oh, well, that happened and I don't care. It wasn't like it just disappeared. It was just the warning signs of, oh, this showed up one time. Do you know what I mean? This showed up another time. So I think that I caught it before I actually got there. So just when you start to notice it,
right? Okay.
Be aware, because you're just like me. You'll just keep on going. I will go and go and go and go and go.
Yeah.
And then until I can't go anymore.
Melina.
Yeah. Care goes on for hours if we're doing something.
Yeah. What was that?
I have a quick question. And obviously, I've been in your mentorship and your club for over a year. And there's always something that you always challenge us is to pick one word for the year.
Yeah.
Given that it's 2020 and having your word here, do you feel that word has impacted you for the deconstruction, as you mentioned? Because I can't help but to think this word that you mentioned and helping your deconstruction.
Entirely. My word for 2020 is live.
Live. Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, that's telling, right?
Very telling. Your
Yeah.
word will show up. I pick it at the beginning or the end of like usually end of the year for the following year. And it's live. It was live this year. And so yes, thanks Carlos for that. Thank you for reminding me of that. It's been showing up a lot.
Yeah. And Carlos, what was your words? Your 2 words? Or your word?
Inspiring. Inspiring hope. Or Stewart. I can't remember. I have to look. But it was one of those 2. It's
inspiring hope.
It's always inspiring. Inspiring hope, because with homeowners, I've been very fortunate. It's just I connect with them and I look for their best interest. Even with now that just having a contract, something under contract, and now it's being facilitated through escrow. Just showing up for them and having that genuine connection with them, and then also with the mission of the club, that innate connection right there, which is an added bonus. And viewing that mindset, especially connecting with Oscar, Melina, how they approach homeowners and being like in the weeds of how they do the transactions, but at the same time, looking at it very pragmatically and at the best interest of the outcome for the homeowner, not yourself. So that's where I feel like that inspiring, that hope, I see it when I'm there with the homeowners. And lately, as I've been showing up and going to be showing up more in the classes, I could see it even now translating it to when I'm mentoring or talking to a new student and telling them, no, you could do this, you could do that, think of it this way, just being creative, just inspiring that, getting that callus going inside their brains to inspire that hope that this is real, this can be done.
I love that exercise. I would love to have everybody in the group kind of do it themselves. And do your words change? Like, do you do it every year? No, it's typically.
So your 2 words it's your personal mission statement. And then I pick 1 word for the year. So I have a new word every year. I take everybody through an exercise. And in fact, maybe I can do that on the call, take everybody through the exercise on what I do.
That would be sweet.
Yeah. How I pick a word.
Great.
Yeah. I pick a word for my company too, Cory. So you should know that. So the club, yeah. So the word for the company this year was steward.
Steward.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you should do that, dude. Pick one.
It'd be fun.
Yeah,
you guys should. It's a really cool thing to do, and you'll see it show up ridiculously.
Yeah.
Is there a process to how you guys come up with that word?
Yeah. Well, there's a book.
There's a book and a study that I do.
Yeah, a book and a study, and it helps you to, because I said the same thing, like, dude, there's so many words, I don't even know where to start, but there's a whole exercise that you go through. Just like the 2-word purpose statement, it doesn't give you choose but yeah, there's a book. Makes it easy. People
I like that.
Well, 1 word is a little bit longer process, right? Than the 2-word purpose.
Yeah. The 1-word book you can read in 44 minutes.
Yeah.
You can read it in 44 minutes.
Yeah, but the process of picking it is just it's not a rush. It's definitely a process. Like I took a month to pick my word for last year, and then I still was like, no. And so I had to pick the same word again this year.
Which was what?
Trust.
Oh.
Trust has been my word for the last 2 years because I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
It's been a big struggle for me. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you made it back to California, but I miss you, bro.
I know,
right?
You guys gotta get going. I gotta get.
Yeah, we do. We have a 3 o'clock.
We're 5 minutes late.
We have a 3 o'clock Zoom. We gotta go.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having us. See you guys.
Thank you guys.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Ciao, guys.